What chapter is Sirach?
Sirach chapter 37. This is about seeking counsel from someone you ought not be seeking counsel from. They may lead you into the wrong direction. I want you to start at you start at 5. Start at 5, bro.
That may as well be 1.
Well, you start at 1. Yeah, because the more I go up, you know, yeah, to get understanding.
We'll go to 1.
Start at 1.
You got it there?
Huh?
I got it.
Hey, Theo.
The book,
Come on up here and bring your chair.
Ezra here. Ezra will be back in a second.
Ezra was here?
Yeah, he'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can sit down there and tend to the chicken.
Yeah.
I see you to move closer to it.
Yeah. We're reading in the Apocrypha in the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 37. We'll start our reading in verse 1. Let's get some understanding, family. Every friend saith, I am his friend also. But there is a friend which is only a friend in name. Is it not a grief unto death when a companion and friend is turned to an enemy?
Yeah, that's grief, ain't it? When one you trusted in was your homie, ace boom coon, A1 from day one, turn against you.
Now you don't even want to go around.
That hurts, man. Cause he knows all your secrets.
Right.
He knows everything about you.
Or she.
Or she. Read on.
Oh, yeah, remember when?
Yeah, I remember. Verse 3. O wicked imagination, whence camest thou in to cover the earth with deceit? There is a companion which rejoiceth in prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble will be against him.
So there's one who'll be like, oh man, congratulations, dog, I'm happy for you. But can't wait for your downfall.
Right.
Secretly like, boy, I can't stand it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be happening.
He's praying for it.
Praying for your downfall. Read on.
Verse 5. There is a companion which helpeth his friend for the belly, and taketh up the buckler against the enemy.
I'm gonna roll with him, man, cause he set it out. And he be setting out the liquor. He got the fires, bud. We eat good. I'm rolling with dog. And whoever he got a problem with, I'm on that nigga head. Cause we gonna eat good, and we gonna smoke good and Read on.
Verse 6. Forget not thy friend in thy mind, and be not mindful of him. And be not unmindful of him in thy riches. Every counselor extolleth counsel, but there is some that counseleth for himself. Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath, for he will counsel for himself, lest he cast a lot upon thee, and say unto thee, thy way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee.
Setting you up.
Yeah. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee.
You said don't go seeking counsel from someone that's envious of you. What kind of counsel you think they're gonna give you?
Wicked.
If they already envious of you, you think they finna give you righteous counsel? They looking for your downfall.
Dog, you should carry all your money with you.
Every time you leave the house.
See, dog, if it was me.
See what I'm saying?
But it ain't you, nigga. Read on.
Verse 11. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous,
Don't go asking counsel from a woman who's jealous of your woman. Or don't a sister go asking counsel from another sister who's jealous of her. What counsel you think she gonna give you? Especially concerning your man.
Leave him.
How is it people go get counseling from someone who does not have anybody to counsel them on their relationship? They by themselves for a reason. Right. How the hell you gonna get counsel from them?
Right.
Read on.
Neither with a coward in matters of war.
Don't you be a... What a punk gonna counsel you on?
You should get out of there. You should run.
Yeah, I could just shot him. You didn't have to do all... You coward. I didn't have to shoot him.
We talked it out.
We talked it out as me. I didn't have to come to that. We didn't have to do all that. See, man, that, a nigga that can't fight, he quick to pull a strap.
It's a lot of that.
Especially if you fear another man.
You fearing what could happen to your flesh.
Read on, brother.
Nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer of seller, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness, nor with the slothful for any work.
How you gonna ask a lazy Negro about work?
And then you're mad because he ain't doing it right.
Or why hire a lazy man?
That's right.
You know a doggone well he don't want to do no work, but you just trying to look out for the brother, but he gon' quit. He ain't gonna show up, and then that's bad on your record. Because not that you are a bad employee, but they gonna always question your bringing somebody else on board. I don't know, man, because the last cat you brought in here was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know about your judgment on cats, man. No, we good. We got the help we need. Yeah, stealing stuff and all kind of.
Yeah, but see, that be them cats you have on the job, and then, see, I have a certain quality I have to have for my work, because people know my work when they see it. But if I hire a cat to work with me, and he's doing work that, don't pass my test, I still have to go behind him and make it the way I want it to be.
So your work,
and he still want to get paid.
Yes.
And then, but to protect your name also and your reputation.
Right. That's right.
I did that with some brewers.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, look, I couldn't
They
even
took
talk.
3 times as long as it would have took me,
And still
and I
wanted that
still
money.
had to pay them.
Yep.
I brought a Hebrew on board to an employment this brother taking a break on the floor. White man come off the elevator. I'm up there, how's it going, brother? How's it working out? Oh, it's cool. White man get off the elevator going to his office. White man saying, how y'all doing? Good evening. I said, how you doing? Bruh said, man, fuck you. What? You clicked out, honky. You don't care about how I feel. What the hell you mean? How you? Man, I look like nigga. What is you doing? Man, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Went left field, man. I'm like, dude, what the? White man look like, shit. Let me hurry up and get him off. Bruh, what the hell was that, man?
Oh my.
That he don't care about how. Man, what makes you think that, brother? Even if he did or didn't, he was cordial to you. What possessed you to do that? And then I brought you on here, man, to get her. Bruh, really? Never again. Never again, brother. Read on, bro.
Nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work.
He said, look, a cat that's just looking to get a check at the end of the week. Don't you waste your time on getting him hired.
Yeah.
He gonna abandon his post after he get his first check. Nigga, I was just working for a check to get me an ounce, OZ.
Right, I'm trying to come up.
I'm trying to flip some birds, nigga. I ain't trying to work for the white man all my life. I was just trying to get a check. Don't you hire that Negro. Don't you get him hired on your place of employment.
Because he gonna leave.
And might take something with him.
Yeah.
That's right.
Power tools and keep missing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
But look, how you know you hiring that nigga? He ain't gonna tell you that's what he on.
No, but you need to know your friends.
Discerning the spirit.
You better
Try the spirit of those who you dealing with. Know who you dealing now. If you just hiring and you didn't know
He
he
all like this.
you don't know who you messing with, dog.
He's scratching, looking crazy. You talking about, yeah, bro, I got something for you.
No,
Cool,
dog.
man. I just need a little something to get back. No, you need some milk.
That's
Right.
Get your
You
truck.
need some milk.
Read on, bro.
Nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel.
You hear that? You see that? Hearken not unto any of these in any of your matters. It's gonna be bad counsel. You ain't gonna get no salvation counsel out of this. Read on.
Verse 12.
Here it is.
But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
So you need to be hooked up with people who care about you as much as you care about them, who seek the righteousness of the Most High and His only begotten Son, the same way you do. Can two walk together lest they be agreed?
No, sir. Y'all
Can
get
two
together?
walk together lest they be agreed?
Yeah, we all get together.
So you can't seek counsel from someone who's not even believing in the Most High and His begotten Son?
Matching up with what you just said, why would a spiritual minded person take a spiritual matter to a worldly
A carnal man. He don't have a clue.
Your uncle ain't trying to serve the Most High.
Right.
They walking around at 74 years old, still trying to show their body with leggings and eyelashes on. But you gonna take a spiritual matter to her. She's not in your work.
Right.
So why is it your daddy is a whoremonger and you gonna go to him? I'm trying to seek a spiritual godly woman. What are you gonna tell?
Get all of them.
Go down to the pool hall.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. Don't make.
What you get
That's right.
because it's your fault. You ain't got no business taking this matter.
That's
to
right.
them. He said in 1 Corinthians, he said, why do you suffer to be defrauded and to take your wrong? And why do you put a spiritual matter in front of a worldly minded person instead of the saints?
Right.
You're supposed to take it to the congregation.
Most High said if a man is hurting, shouldn't he look to his God for salvation? Not looking to familiar spirits, those that have familiar spirits. But why not look towards your God who created you?
You want to walk this walk, but still want to walk on eggshells and give.
That's because they want a fence ride. They want to play on the spirit. They want to play on the spiritual side and the carnal side.
Man, get their skin because it is what it is.
Yeah.
Ain't no exception to nobody.
Let's finish that out, bro.
Verse 13. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it.
You would trust. Don't you trust yourself? Don't you trust yourself a little more than the counsel of somebody else that's just as bad as you? Okay, let's hit that James chapter 5, y'all. I just wanted to hit that because, like I said, you know, the sister had sought counsel. She was seeking counsel, and she got bad counsel from a novice in the word. And he ill-advised her, and she was ready to commit suicide. So be careful who you invite into your situation and your problems, and who you seek counsel from. James chapter 5, you can start at start at 7.
Yeah, you can get it. What on play?
I'm sorry. Just rest on real quick.
That's what they said.
Yeah, 7, maybe all the way back down. 7. Verse 7. Oh, you started at 1.
Yeah, about to say.
That's what I said, 7. That's close to 1.
Alright, Book of James, chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be as witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your field, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of how you pronounce that? Sabaoth. Verse 5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and have been wanting. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter, as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience.
So he says, you know, we have examples set before us of brothers who endured persecution and affliction. There's nothing new under the sun. We all have to fight the same fight. It's given unto us. We're going to hit that Sirach chapter 2. For all of us must go through this same war. The prophets went through it. Christ went through it. What makes you think we ought not go through it? A lot of people think just because you came into the word of the Most High and you start living in the path of righteousness, that everything is all good and hokey-dory for you. Quite the contrary. This is the life that the Christians lead. The Christian sanity ones. They proud to tell you they're a Christian. I live the life of a Christian, but evil and wicked as hell. Judgmental about every doggone thing. How do you be judgmental and say the laws are done away with? How is that possible? So what judgment are you judging by? That's crazy. That's how crazy the people of the earth are. That's how wicked man-made doctrines are. That you could fabricate a whole theory or doctrine based on ideologies off of something that's factual and it has nothing to do with the facts. That's crafty. And have the whole world succumb to it, seduced by it. That's crafty. Don't underestimate the powers of Satan, but our God, our Elohim is much, much greater. Let's read on, brother.
Verse 11.
Yes, sir.
Behold, we count them happy which endure.
We count them what?
Happy which endure.
Which endure. Why? Because remember Job said, even though I endured all of these afflictions and plagues and everything, I know my Lord liveth and I will see him at his coming.
Yes, sir.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That's the faith. Read on.
Verse 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy.
Do you see that? We just read the patience of Job. How Job, even through all his plagues and affliction, he confessed the name of the Most High. He gave him praises even in his lowest estate.
48 years on
48 years of, and we can't endure 24 hours. A week's time of affliction and turmoil breaks us down.
putting the words back in themselves too.
Putting the words back where they were coming from, say, hey, stay in your spot. Stay steadfast until my Lord delivers me out of this affliction. That's patience.
He tried to stop the stuff.
He didn't stop it. He even said, bring it on. He told Satan, come on with it. Whatever you got, homie, bring it. I'm prepared. I was built for this, dog. I'm ramped up, built for this.
Lamb tough.
Lamb tough. Same thing. Ram is righteous too.
There you go.
Caught in the thicket.
You know, it's a man sheep, so
Yeah.
it's righteous.
This is the way we have to be, y'all. We have to be built for this, made for this walk. We gonna all endure some affliction. Remember, all the prophets were murdered, stoned, beaten. The apostles beaten, stoned, killed. What makes you think you ain't gotta go through nothing?
You gonna ice skate in?
You get sick and everything, and we all, woe is me. The Most High gives us a way even out of our sickness. Read on, bro, because we got something to hear.
Verse 12.
Yes, sir.
But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation.
Leviticus 19 is Exodus 20. It says, do swear not. And if you make a vow, pay it. All right, we're gonna, let's hit, Mount. Leviticus 19. 19 and 12 to be exact. Exodus 20 and 7 to be exact. Go to Sirach chapter 2. Sirach chapter 2.
Verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Old chapter. It's beautiful.
Is Zebediah.
No, it ain't. It's still on there. Trying to jump the gun.
Alright, Sirach chapter 2. Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
You see that? Don't think this is just gonna be some cakewalk. You just tiptoe through the tulips.
Right.
Soul got to be tried in the fire.
No, it's tried in the fire.
Yes, sir.
It's tried in the fire. Is it worthy?
Acceptable men.
That's right.
Everybody was tried in the fire. Abraham was tried. You read in the book of Jasher the trials of Abraham. He was cast into the fiery furnace just like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. That's where his brother died. His brother was burnt up because he had lack of faith and belief. He doubted in his heart and was consumed in the fiery furnace.
That's deep.
Lack of faith, boy, will cost you. Slip don't count. Read on, bro.
Verse 2.
Yes, sir.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last.
So the Most High says, cleave unto the Most High, that you may be. That's what Job did. He was increased in his last. Because he believed with all his heart and soul. Read on.
Verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to low estate.
Didn't we just read that with Job? He took it on with cheerfulness. Come on with it. What you got? That's all you got? Took away his riches, his children. Many of us will fold when just something stolen out of the house. Many of us will fold as soon as we lost one of our children. He lost all 10 in one whop. One whop, all 10 gone. Everything gone. We've heard people lose a loved one and say, why would God do that? Want to curse out the Most High and think he's unjust.
Let me read this right quick.
Read it, brother.
Y'all ain't got to turn to it. This Ecclesiasticus chapter 11, 10 through 15.
Yes, sir.
My son, meddle not with many matters.
Yes, sir.
For if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain. Neither shalt thou escape by fleeing. There is one that laboreth and taketh pains and maketh haste, and is so much more behind. Again, there is another that is slow and hath need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty. Yet in the eye of the Elohim looketh him for good, and set him up from his low estate.
That's right.
And after lift up his head from misery, so that many that saw and marveled at him. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come from the Elohim.
That's right.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding
Shabbat
of the
shalom,
law are of the Elohim. Love and the way of good works are from him.
That's right. That's where it comes from, y'all. It don't just come out of nowhere. We have a provider.
He can pull you up out your low estate.
That's right.
But it's only
You gotta
through
be
him.
faithful to him.
You gotta be faithful, bro. It don't just come from saying, well, he know my heart.
I don't deserve this.
Yeah, he know your heart is desperately wicked above all things.
Deceitful.
You gotta give them back.
Nothing free. Let's get back to that, Sirach.
Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Y'all see that? So when you going through something, accept it. You being tried through the fire. You are obviously worthy. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
That's a beautiful thing. Hold that real quick. Hit that Proverbs 3 and 4. Hold that real quick. Hit that Proverbs chapter 3.
You gotta read.
Start, what I say? Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3. Start at 1. And go down to 13.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments.
Let thine heart keep thy commandments. It shouldn't always that you have to always refer to the book, the manual. It should start being in your heart at some point. At some point, we have to have it within us.
You shouldn't have to beat people with script. They should see how you move and understand the ways of the Most High.
That's right. You have to be a light unto the Gentiles, meaning your Israelite brethren who are unknowledgeable, who are Gentiles in their ways of thinking. But we have to show the light before anyone can just say, man, we have to want them to be compelled to say, brother, who is it you roll with, man? Because I heard them cats out on the street. But bruh, I know you have the same heritage, but you don't act nothing like them. There's a big difference between y'all. One is right and one is wrong. I see it.
A lot of people work on that outcut. They think that's what it is.
Got you, my boy.
So, Elijah, that's where it comes where you ask the Creator. I was reading this, I don't know where I read it, but it was like letting the word be one with you.
Yes.
And if the word is one with you, then you fulfill it.
Just like in Romans 13, he says, if you accomplish the first two, it won't allow the concept or the thought of harming or transgressing any of the other commandments. It won't even come into your psyche if the love is already established in your heart. The other things you ain't got to worry about trying to do the other commandments. You're going to do them subconsciously anyway, because love is always going to prevail in the way you walk towards your brethren. You're going to always extend love to your brethren. And others going to see it. I'm like, man, the way them brothers love up on each other, man, not no homosexual gay ass shit. I'm talking about righteous loving up on each other. I'm talking about righteousness in the ways of the Most High and His Holy Begotten Son. People take notice of that and say, man, that's a beautiful thing. I wish I could love my brothers like that, man. The way y'all dap each other, man, and embrace. Man, I never heard no foul deception or anger in y'all amongst y'all's conversation. That's beautiful. They want to be a part of that. Man, can I roll with y'all, man? Where y'all get down? Like, man, I want that kind of peace in my life. But we have to be those examples. We have to be those lights. And we can't fear being those lights, going somewhere and being that light.
That's right.
Read on,
in the
bro.
harshest conditions,
That's right.
you still gotta be a light.
We are always sent to he said, I send you as sheep amongst wolves. We got to go to the worst of the worst to get it. Paul was sent to the worst of the worst. Remember in the book of Jeremiah, he said, man, I can't go to these people. You see how hard they look? He said, well, I'm going to harden your forehead to look like a flint rock, so when they see you, they like, that nigga hard. Remember, Jeremiah was a young boy. He like, I'm going up against valiant men of war to take this word. They gonna be like, look, nigga, if you don't get away from me.
That's right.
He said, no, I'm gonna build you up. You gonna look just as hard as they are. So we gotta go. We can't be scared to go to the hood
No.
and deliver this message. Finish that Proverbs 3, bro. Somebody.
Yep, that was you.
Where we went?
Yeah. 1 through 13.
I'm still, I ain't even started.
No. Yeah, two.
I was on 2?
Yeah.
For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
Keeping the laws will add life unto you. Read on.
Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart.
He said not just put it on the refrigerator, put it on your heart. It's got to be within you, y'all. This ain't something you can't teach this. You got to want this and let this be a part of your attributes.
Second nature.
This is your virtue. Read on.
Verse 4.
Yes, sir.
So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of Yahweh and man.
You see that? But that's only through faith and belief in the Most High and His begotten Son that you're going to find this kind of favor. Read on.
Trust in the Elohim with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path.
Now, if you have these moments where a lot of us have come into this walk and we say, I ain't never going to the doctor no more, I ain't never doing this, I ain't never doing that no more. But we're going to hit that Sirach chapter 38 so you can see that the Most High says, I created the physician too. Don't lean to your own understanding. You ain't no physician. You don't know what you need and what you don't need for your body. Now, like Uncle Levi says, at least go to the physician and find out what your diagnostic is, or your diagnosis, what is it? Dialysis is.
Diagnosis.
That too. And, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Go get that information and then go heal yourself. Face the east, pray to the Most High, trust in the Most High and His holy begotten Son with all our heart and soul, and then get well.
Yeah, you gotta get your blood work.
But you gotta go find out what's wrong with you. I'm not an auto mechanic. I don't know how to work on cars. I need to take it over to AutoZone, O'Reilly, somebody, check it out. What I need, what's wrong. Now I can go take it to my own mechanic and get it worked on. But you gotta find out what's up. You can't trust in your own self to know what's going on with your body, and you don't know nothing about the body.
Right.
And be careful who you consult, who think they know about your body. They may be giving you ill counsel. You may be dead in another day or two. Especially if he's into Hinduism, Egyptology, rubbing crystals, all kind of foolishness. You better be careful. Witchcraft, all that madness. Let's read this out, bro. Finish that out.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path.
He shall direct our paths. Read on.
Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Elohim and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy neighbor and marrow to thy bones.
You see that? This is where your health is coming from. This is where all your health and your extended life comes from. Obeying and doing the commandments with faith, patience, long suffering. Read on.
Honor the Elohim with all thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thy increase.
So every time you get something, give Most High His praise and honor. For it's through Him that you have. Read on.
So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst with the new wine.
So he's saying, if you do what I ask you to do and I command you to do, not only will you be healthy, but you will be enriched. Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, Psalms chapter 1. By fulfilling the laws, commandments, and statutes, a man shall gain prosperity. Just like Solomon, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, he asked for wisdom. And everything was all the riches came with it. And the glory. Read on.
My son, despise not the chastening of the Elohim, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Elohim loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth.
You see that? Don't become wearisome when you are brought to a lower state. You may be getting tried in the furnace. This may be the testimony to those who are unbelievers around you. If you reach your lowest point in health, put it all in the cares of the Most High. He will lift you up so that you will be a testimony to the non-believers, a light unto the Gentiles, the non-believers around you.
That's right.
But nothing is accomplished without the Most High and His holy begotten Son. Without that faith, you have nothing. Read on, bro. Finish that out. That was it. That was
I
it.
thought you wanted 13.
Yeah, hit 13.
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding.
So with wisdom, you got to have understanding, because you can read as many books as you want, but if you don't understand a doggone thing, it means nothing.
Right.
Rock 4, 11 through 19 is an excellent precept. Which I'll
Let's hit it, brother. You said Sirach 4?
Yes, sir, 11 through 19.
11 through 19. Sirach 4, 11 through 19 real quick, y'all. And then we got to get back to that Sirach 2, and then we're going to jump into Hebrews 11 and Romans 8, because we have to know what faith is, and we have to know what Satan, so-called sin faith is. All right? And know the difference. Then we're going to get into some other, we're going to hit this Isaiah 38 about Hezekiah, John 11 about Lazarus.
It's gonna be some homework, y'all.
Yeah, I got about 2 pages of homework for y'all.
You know, we get before scripts.
Bring it on.
Hey, you know what? Y'all gonna start getting questioned about this homework, boy. Some of y'all be taking these homeworks and jotting down the notes, and I know doggone well y'all ain't studying. Y'all coming back to class. It's gonna be another class on something else. So I get to it. We're gonna have a Q&A. We're gonna start having Q&A before class starts.
Really good idea, though. That's a good idea. All right, Sirach chapter 4, verse 11.
Yes, sir. Verse 11.
Okay. 11 through 19, up to 9.
And it reads, Wisdom exalteth her children, and layeth hold of them that seek her.
That's right.
He that loveth her loveth life, and they that seek her early shall be found with joy. He that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory, and wheresoever she entereth, the Lord will bless.
So you got to seek the wisdom of the Most High. Because in his wisdom is life. Because the life is commandments, statutes, and judgments. And in the word, he is the word. Christ is the word. That's salvation. Read on.
Verse 14.
Yes, sir.
They that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her the Lord doeth love. Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nation, and he that attendeth unto her shall dwell securely. If a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul, and try him by her law. Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him, and show him her secret.
But first you got to be tried. Are you worthy to retain this wisdom? Because remember in the Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, he says the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee. Deceit, the soul that has deceit and all that in his soul, in his heart. It won't come enter into the same body. But everything is tried. Are you worthy of it? I mean, you try your children, don't you? You don't just bless them with gifts continually without seeing if they worthy of the gift.
The new parents do.
Huh?
The new parents do.
Oh, the new booty parents do, yeah. That's why the children are so out of control, because there's no rod of correction. And there's no boundaries of discipline. But you try your child to see, hey, I ain't finna just reward foolishness. Do right and you get rewarded. Do wrong, you get disciplined. That's if you want a son that's gonna uphold your name in a good manner. Right. Read on, brother.
Verse 19. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him, and give him over to his own ruin.
So he said, wisdom will flee a wicked man. And he'll be turned over to his own conceits. Just like you see brothers who were once into the light, now walking in darkness, and all the understanding is darkness now. See, that spirit of wisdom then fled and turned them over onto their own reprobate minds and understanding. LC. I ain't hear you, brother. Endure to the end the patience of Job. Okay, are we done with that? Let's get back to that Sirach 2.
All right.
Are we done with that? You just wanted to go to 19, right?
Yep.
Okay, Sirach chapter 2, we're going to go down to...
You read the whole chapter.
Yeah, the whole chapter to 18.
All right, well, we in Sirach chapter 2, picking back up in verse 6. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not astray. And go not aside, lest ye fall.
Same thing. So he says, be patient. Trust in the Most High. He got you. Don't go astray because it ain't happening when you want it to happen. Just be a little patient. He want to see how long. He ain't going to put no more on you than you can bear. Hold out. You can do it. Remember the woman with the issue of blood for 12 years. 12 years? That's continual. The body don't hold that much blood. But that goes to show you this was an example. This was a testimony. This was a miracle to mankind. Read on.
Verse 8. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail.
Believe him, it ain't gonna fail, y'all. He promised. He vowed. Read on.
Verse 9. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Ask. Search the scriptures. He said, look in the scriptures, search it out. Generations of old. Go all the way back to Genesis. And see if there's ever been a servant of mine who sought him with their whole heart and was forsaken. Yes, ma'am.
It's like a parent. If your child is consistently calling. Our son had a habit of, he would always say, Mom, Mom. And I'd be sitting right there, Mom. And I'm looking right at Mom. Mom, I changed my name. Still. Mom, what'd you say your name is? 4. Must have been 5. Mom. Until I answered, yes. I just wanted to see if you still love me. Yes, I love you. 20 minutes later, Mom. That's the same way. Even though no matter how many times I say I'm going to change my name, and I change it. Miss Mom, Auntie Mom, Sister Mom, right on down the line. Still, that's the same way we have to be. The Father will never ignore us.
No, he never had. But he ain't gonna tolerate and entertain our foolishness.
See,
That he ain't gonna do. He ain't finna do that. You know, just like we should be with our children. I ain't entertaining your foolishness. You know? No, we can't. Because you want them in your absence to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and be respected as a man or a woman. You know?
that's the same way as when you teach our children that when you get to be, and I'm sorry.
No.
When we graduated from high school, I'm not saying this is an example, but I'm just saying, when we graduated from high school, everyone, our mom, my dad, he said you have 2 choices. College, military, or your own. That's what he said. And when we graduated from high school and left, he changed the locks. Because he said, this is what he said. He said, because I've taught you these many 18 years. I've taught you this 18 years in order to take care of yourself, how to provide for yourself, what to do for yourself, how to cook. And right on this went with my brothers, how to cook, how to clean, how to provide and take care. So you should have been paying attention all these many years, but during that time, every year, it would be like a test, a quiz. What did you learn this year? What did you learn that year? And we didn't know or realize we were being tested, but he would do that. Mm-hmm. And when we got to graduate from high school, it was like, okay, now show me. But he never let us fall. He never let us drop. But the point was, now let me see what you learned.
You have to be self-sufficient. Shabbat shalom, fam.
Lessons And he would teach us that. So he would always be there in case we failed for the first 2 years. After that, you know. But it's a teaching. It was a learning process. So when you were talking about this, I thought about this. It's a learning process.
Yeah.
A learning process.
Experience will teach you greater than a lot of other things, you know, just telling someone through word, but experience. A lot of us have to experience a lot of things in our life to reach a level of maturity. And then there's some that you can just tell them and teach them, and they oh, okay, I got it, I believe you. You know, and roll with it.
How long, and that's the question, how long will we be able to contend with what we've been taught and still look at it and say, I can wait for 50 years.
Right, I mean,
Until he rescues.
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, and that's why we're doing this class, because the flesh is always warring against the spirit. The spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. So a lot of times in our weakness, man, we fall victim to a lot of things that we don't, you know, we're not looking for, but it happens. And these are our tests that we must, even in these lower states, we have to trust in the Most High in everything that he brings us, because we don't think miracles still happen today, but they do. We don't acknowledge them on the scale of what we read about, but they happen all the time. They happen all the time. People are always near death and are brought forward and put back up on their feet. And we don't acknowledge it as a miracle or anything, like, oh, that brother got well or whatever. But sometimes a lot of these things are examples to us. You know, a lot of people pass on for whatever reasons. Most High may be taking them out of the way and reserving them for his own. However, then there's some that's got to give up the ghost because of the sins that we've committed. You know, there's various reasons. But we can't let whatever state that we're in or whatever circumstance befall us, that we lean not upon the Most High and his only begotten Son and trust not in him, because he's the only way to deliver us from whatever it is we're going through, whether it be ailments, whether it be financial situations, whatever it may be. Only the Most High and his only begotten Son can deliver us from whatever state that may be. Right. And so that's why we're dealing with this right now, because we have a lot of brethren out in the world that are hurting and don't know how to get back or find ease and comfort. And it has to be in the Most High and his Holy Begotten Son, because that's it. Sometimes it's just a test. It's just a test. And you have to, even if it ain't a test, you have to still endure. You still got to endure. You weren't created for your own glory. Let's finish this out. So I wanted to hit it. What time are we working with? We over laughing, man.
All right, verse 11. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction.
You see that? Most High does these things. If we call upon him in truth and righteousness, this is what he does for us. Read on.
Verse 12. Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that goeth two ways.
Woe be unto the one that fainteth and got a double heart. Got doubt in his heart. Ain't nothing he can do with that.
So James 1:8. Double-minded man is unstable.
Unstable in all his ways. Just mark that up, put it in your notes next to that.
How do you go 2 ways at one time?
Now that's a mystery, ain't it? Split himself in two.
But they just show you this is spiritual.
Yes.
It ain't physical.
It has nothing to do with the
Because
flesh.
physically you can't go 2 ways at one time. But up here, yes you can.
Fence ride. Read on. 13.
Verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended.
Wow.
If you believe not, how can he save you? How can he heal you when you don't even believe in him?
Wow.
What do you think the Most High can do for you and you don't even have belief and faith in him?
Right.
So what you think he gonna do for you? What can he do for you?
Nothing.
Read on.
Verse 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience.
And it's an exclamation point. He's emphasizing that. That's what Judas did, lost patience. When you lose patience, you do anything. You do anything. Because you ain't got no faith.
Right.
You lose patience, you do anything. Man, I don't care who, man, I gotta go. I don't care who come pick me up. You don't care if a murderer come and pick you up in a stolen vehicle? Man, I ain't got nothing to do with it, I just gotta, okay,
Get pulled over.
okay.
You go
Sure you
down.
don't.
Yep.
Read on.
And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? Verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word.
You see that? Because all the other commandments are accomplished in them too. Love the Most High with all thy heart, body, and soul. And love thy neighbor as thyself. He won't allow you to disobey. Read on.
And they that love him will keep his ways. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him. And they that love him shall be filled with the law. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
Hallelujah. Let's get that. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 38. Now, before we go to Isaiah, let's hit. We're going to Isaiah 38, but I want to hit this Hebrews 11, 1 and 2, and Romans 8.
You said Hebrews 11, 1 and 2.
And then in that Hebrews chapter 8, I want that about the hope scene.
So I think so.
You said it Romans 8 too?
Hebrews.
Yeah.
Hebrews 11, and Romans 8. Yeah.
Okay, there it is. 8:24. Okay, Hebrews 11. Hit the Hebrews 11, 1 and 2, and then jump over to Hebrews 13, verse 5 and 6.
Hebrews 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report.
So it was through faith, them believing in the promises made unto our forefathers, that they believed that in their latter end, in their last end, they will have help. They will be exalted, edified in their last estate. Because through faith, they hadn't seen the promises. Abraham didn't see the land. He didn't go into the land of Canaan. He was given a vision and he believed. Through his faith, he believed everything that was spoken unto him. And he acted accordingly and gave up the ghost before even experiencing any of the good things that were told to him, as well as all the prophets. Moses saw it with his naked eye, but couldn't cross over to it, but still believed that he will be resurrected in it. That's the kind of faith we got to have, y'all. Though we may not see it in our lifetime, we believe in our eternal life we will be there. We believe in the promises made. That's the joy. That's why we shouldn't fear death if we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Right.
There should be no fear of it. And we're going to hit that in Sirach chapter 41, that you should not fear death. But let's hit that Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5 and 6. Then go to Romans 8.
Hebrews 13.
Yes, sir. Hebrews 13, verse 5 and 6.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee, so that we may boldly say, the Elohim is my help, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me.
So that's where our trust must lie, y'all. He said, I will not leave thee or forsake thee. If you rolling with me, I got you. I'll bring you through whatever afflictions and calamities you are faced with. Let's hit that Romans chapter 8, because in this, and the reason why I wanted to go to this Hebrews 11 and this Romans 8 to show the difference that, you know, a lot of people, they fall from the faith because they fall from the doctrine and everything for the faith because they don't have faith. It's hard for them to believe in that which they don't see.
Faith comes from reading and hearing the word. Right?
That's right, and doing it. And doing it. Because James say faith without works is dead.
That's
And works without faith is dead. They ain't doing the work, or they ain't got, or they trying to do some work without faith. They don't believe. So you got to have them both hand in hand. You see how even faith and works is two witnesses? There's two witnesses right there.
And they got to line up.
Got to line up, man. Romans chapter 8, y'all. The point I want to make is in verse 24, but yeah, we just go right there, y'all. So start at verse 12. And
Romans chapter 8, verse 12.
go from 12 to 20. 12 to 28.
Won't you start that at 9?
Okay, bro. 9. 9, man, 9.
Yeah, 9. Let's start at 9.
Oh, come on back.
Hey, bro, could you give me some of that?
Which one?
chapter 8, verse 9.
Yes, sir.
Boy, y'all eat the whole birds, man. What y'all? These boys got quail and
You got two places there. You got one over here open and one right there.
You got to come home.
Romans chapter 8,
see
verse
how
9.
we brethren look after each other, man. We love each other, bro. We love each other. Romans chapter 9, chapter 8, verse 9. We there? Hey, how we looking out there, Tubai? Everybody good? We got any questions? Anything need to be addressed?
No, sir.
Okay, let's roll.
Romans chapter 8, verse 9.
Yes, sir.
But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the spirit of Yahweh dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Christ, he is none of his.
Man, so you be careful who you bring into your space. Be very careful who you bring in your space, who you bring around your rib, who you bring around your children.
That's right.
Even who you bring around your dog. Be careful. Dogs can sense out some foolishness and they'll get up in that.
They'll bite you too.
Yeah, they will get up in ya.
Tell you up.
So be careful. Be careful who you bring around your people, your loved ones, who you bring in your space. Read on, bro.
Verse 10. And if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit, it is life because of righteousness.
So he said, if Christ is in you, you're not compelled to sin. This is all Paul was saying. He ain't saying that you are not a sinner. He says the love of the Most High and His only begotten Son, the scriptures, the commandments, statutes, and judgment won't allow you to proceed any further to do wrong to your brethren.
That's right.
It won't allow that, man. Read on.
But if the spirit of him that raised up Yahushua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Hamashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his spirit that dwelleth in you.
So if you got Christ in you, I don't care what kind of infirmities you're going through. Christ can deliver you from that. It don't matter what it is. I don't care if it's HIV, AIDS, cancer, stage 8 cancer, whatever it may be. The Most High has the power to deliver you from that. But your trust has to be 150% in Him.
Thank you.
Read on.
Verse 12. Therefore, brethren, we are not debtors to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye live through the Spirit, it do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live.
There it is.
So if you kill, what that verse is saying is if you kill the carnal parts of your existence, the spirit is going to preserve you.
Yeah.
You gotta live in the spirit.
You got to live in the spirit. John 4:24 says, Most High is a spirit, and all those who have worship Him and follow Him must worship Him in spirit and truth.
That's right.
So we have to live in the spirit. Though we're fleshly, carnal men and women, we must set our mindset and consciousness on the spiritual life.
Mortify your body to walk after Christ.
That's it.
Kill yourself.
Kill yourself that you may live in Christ.
Walk after Christ.
Basically, kill your flesh that you may live in Christ in the spirit.
And basically what it's saying is that it's talking about that spiritual circumcision.
That's right.
Cut off the fleshly part of your mind.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? And live in the spirit.
Don't mean skin yourself.
Not in like in the Mac. Stick yourself, Tony. Don't do that.
Or them Japanese good sewing that they're going to do.
Yeah. Harry carry and
Right.
No.
read on, bro.
Verse 14.
Yes, sir.
For as many are led by the Spirit of Yahweh, they are the sons of Yahweh. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father.
So we cry unto the Most High. He didn't give us the spirit of fear to call upon man. Man can't do nothing. He trying to save his own. Read on.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh. And if children, then heirs, heirs of Yahweh, and joint heirs with Hamashiach. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may also glorify together.
So we got to suffer just like he suffered. But he was without sin. And that was only for us to be, him to be an example to us in the sinful flesh that we can get it together. Read on.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectations of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of Yahweh. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him whom have subject the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yahweh.
So you got to go through something to get somewhere. Read on.
For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan with ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body.
So yeah, we go through those lower states where we like, man, ooh, this is unbearable. Whoa, Lord be with me, man. This, ooh, man, I'm at a low point. But remember, even Christ, in the sinful flesh, said, if this cup could pass from me, nevertheless let thy will be done. For so in a split second, a moment, he felt the pains, the earthly pains and human pains that we go through and deal with. He took all that upon himself. He felt that. He felt that slight of doubt in the flesh that we feel on a regular. So he understands our pains and our afflictions and our sufferings and everything. He knows them well, acquainted with our grief.
Right.
Yes.
They never said what was in the bitter cup that he wanted to drink from. But I could imagine probably with all the sins of the world.
The sins of the world, gall.
The flesh was going, he knew what the flesh had to go through. But the spirit was, so he had to get what the spirit took with the flesh. So I think when he said, Father, let this cup pass from me, he knew what that body had to go through.
Yeah. The torment, the selfish, the scourging. But he said he was afflicted more than any man on earth. No man has gone through the torture that he went through in one day. In one day, he buried all those sins in one whop. In one whop. He got the stripes, beaten on, ridiculed, persecution, falsely imprisoned, spit on everything that mankind goes through and that all of us go through on a regular daily basis. He did it all in one time and overcame it all.
Come on.
Yes. Never said a word.
He didn't cry about it. He didn't, I can't take it no more.
Yes.
He took it on
Thank you, Creator.
and endured and overcame it all, even death. Swallowed it up. And he's going to come back to cast it away forever.
Thank you, Creator.
Read on, bro. Where we at on that?
Verse 24.
Yes, sir.
For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope.
You see that? We're saved by hope. What is hope? Is faith. What is faith? Hope seen, hope for things not seen.
Yeah.
So if you can see it, then it ain't no hope. If you looking at the treasures right before you, what are you hoping for it for? If it's right there tangible. Why even seek for it? What you laboring in trying to obtain it for? It's right there.
Right.
But see, us as humans, mankind, we believe in that which is tangible. We can grab it, we can smell it, we can taste it, we can feel it. That's why we wanted a king like the other nations. Because our God wasn't visible to the naked eye. There was a lot of lack of faith, just like there is now. I don't care what a man make his mouth say. Shalom, don't mean nothing. What's up in your walk?
Right. How you living?
How you living, homie? Read on. I just want to just take it down to that, what I say, 28? Yeah.
For what a man seeth, why does he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it.
See the difference, y'all? That's why he says these preachers and pastors and all these people that's leading away the flock astray because of their personal gains. He said, leave them alone. They got their reward. Their reward is in what they see with the naked eye because they have no faith in which that which they don't see. So he said, don't worry about them. They got their reward. Their kingdom is right here before their eyes. That's what they trust in. He said, don't worry about them. They got theirs. This is what they're living for. We, on the other hand, are living for that which we see not, because it's forever. Let that be your trust.
Johnny.
He says,
Johnny online said, can we read this out to 39? It says, Paul.
Yes, sir. Is that what you want, brother? That's what we're going to do for you.
Johnny Davis.
That's what we're going to do for you, my brother. Read it.
Verse 26.
Yes, sir.
Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmity. For we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
So if we're in the Spirit of the Most High Hamashiach and doing His will, then he said, don't worry about it. The Spirit will make an intercession for us because He knows what we know before we know. He knows what's ailing us. He knows our plagues. Revelations 2:9-3 says, I know thy poverty and tribulation, but thou art rich. Rich in what? Spirit. Your lack of having ain't nothing. You are rich because you have everything coming to you. Don't put your trust in this earthly treasures that the cankerworm and the moth does corrupt. Set up your treasures for heaven. That's right. Or your cousin, little Bobo and Willie and little Skillet gonna come and get you for? Read on, brother.
Verse 27. And he that searcheth the heart knoweth what is in the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of Yahweh.
That is, yeah.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, to them who are called according to His purpose.
Come on.
For whom He did foreknow, He also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of His Son, that He might be the firstborn among many brethren.
So don't take this predestination meaning that every man that come into the walk of the Most High was predestined from the womb. It is not necessarily so, because he said if a righteous man turn from his righteousness and become wicked, then he's wicked. Free will is what he's given us.
That's right.
Now, when you exemplified or exhibited those attributes and the virtues of walking righteously in the ways of the Most High and His only begotten Son, then it's a predestinate that you will inherit the kingdom. But only then, because Abraham wasn't predestined. He was tried first, remember? Will he sacrifice his only son? He was tried in the fire first. It wasn't predestined that he was going to do right.
just got puffed up and smoked the rock. Huh?
Didn't go over into the promised land after all the things he
All
did.
that he did. Like, oh,
Read Ezekiel chapter 18. Read Ezekiel chapter 3. Read Ezekiel chapter 33. These are examples of when you turn from your righteousness and become wicked, then you count it as wicked. If a wicked man turns from his wickedness and becomes righteous, then he's counted as a righteous man. In that he says he takes no pleasure in the death of the wicked. Read on, bro.
keep going?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because he wanted to go to 39,
Oh,
right?
he said 39. I thought he said 29. My bad. For whom he did for, I'm on 30, right? Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we then say to these things? If Yahweh be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things?
So there it is, man. If we're committed to him, why wouldn't he do the same for us? Why wouldn't he resurrect us? Why wouldn't he pick us up off our deathbed or sick bed? Why wouldn't he give us another chance of repentance, another day of repentance if it's true in our heart? Why wouldn't he do these things if we seek him with our whole hearts and soul? Then you saying he's not righteous. His ways are unequal. Read on.
Verse 30. Who shall lay anything to the charge of Yahweh's elect? It is Yahweh that justifies. Who is he that condemneth? It is Christ that died, yea, rather, that is risen again. Who is even at the right hand of Yahweh, who also maketh intercession for us. He shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach. I'm sorry, who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword?
All praises, brother, for telling us to read on down. That's a blessing, because he says not even the afflictions and the sufferings we go through should separate us from our Hamashiach.
Take it with joy.
Take it with joy. Ain't that what Job did? The patience of Job, we must have it. Endure to the end. Read on, bro.
As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter.
There it is. He says, I send you out. Luke chapter 10, he said, I send you out as sheep amongst wolves. And you should go by twos to houses. Salute them. Bring the word of repentance. And if they don't accept you, shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving.
That's right.
For it be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah than it shall be for that household or that city. Read on.
Verse 37. Nay, in all these things are we more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh, which is in Hamashiach Yahweh our Elohim.
Beautiful. Excellent. Nothing that we go through should separate us from the love of the Most High and His Holy Begotten Son. Nothing. Hit that Sirach chapter 41 real quick before we hit this Isaiah 38 and John 11. Sirach 41. When you get a chance, also put in your arsenal, because what time we working with y'all?
4:40.
Okay, listen. Put in that Sirach chapter 7, because that Sirach chapter 7, not Sirach, I'm sorry. 2nd Ezra chapter 7. That's what I want. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 breaks down the conditioning of man, what man must go through in his daily life to bring him unto salvation. The trials and tribulations you are going to be faced with. It's guaranteed to every man that comes of a woman into this world. If he's following the law, statutes, and judgment, he must go through these things to be tried in the fire, to see if you're worthy to come into the kingdom. Because we shall all go under the rod in the wilderness, right? Ezekiel 20. And we be tried. Where you at? Who you with? It talks about the wide road and the narrow road. When Adam was created, it was wide. After his transgression, it became narrow. So we have to go through the narrow to get to the wide. And if man don't ever go through tribulations and afflictions and sufferings, how can you appreciate the kingdom or the eternal life waiting for you? That's just like giving a spoiled child everything they want and they ain't been worthy of it. And then when they get it, they don't care anything about the gift.
Right.
They just dog it out like Esau.
That's right.
He didn't care about his birthright. He was rich. He was good to go. What is it going to profit me?
That's
Right.
He counted fleshly matters greater than his spiritual matter.
They kill.
Therefore, he was given earthly riches.
That's right. They gonna kill me. What I need with that birthright?
And we was given the spiritual riches. What did I say? Sirach 41.
The 40 and 41.
What I want is 41. Yeah, it's 41 I want. I want 41 and 41, go down.
Hmm.
13,
I'm looking at 30.
16. 1 through 16.
1 through 16?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sirach 41.
I will be reading in the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. In chapter 41, we'll start our reading at verse 1. Let's get some understanding, family.
Yes, sir.
O death, how bitter is the remembrance of thee to a man that liveth at rest in his possessions, unto the man that hath nothing to vex him, and that hath prosperity in all things, yea, unto him that is yet able to receive meat.
He said death is bitter to one that's got everything. Yeah, he got everything, but boy, they man, bitterness like, oh man, I don't want to die.
Right.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die. That's them Rockefellers. That boy had about 8 heart surgeries, transplants.
That last one didn't take. That's right.
Man. So you know they would sacrifice his children and body harvest, organ harvesting for him to get all them hearts. Read on, bro.
Verse 2. O death, acceptable is thy sentence unto the needy, and unto him whose strength faileth, that is now in the last age, and is vexed with all things, and to him that despaireth, and hath lost patience.
So death becomes a welcome thing for those who are at their last estate, who are at their lowest, who want to commit suicide. They think that death is the answer now. Man, I ain't no strength, I ain't worthy, nobody loves me. Oh, woe is me, I can't do it. It's enough is enough, I can't bear no more. Death becomes a welcoming thing to them.
Right.
Or to one who's lived a good life in old age. They like, hey, I ain't worried, I'm ready to go. I done did my deed, I done lived my life, I done fought the fight. I'm ready. Death, I can take on death now. I ain't scared. I'm good. It's okay. And then there are some who welcome death because they just can't take it no more. They have reached such a lower state that death seems like the only answer. And that's what I was dealing with my sister the other day. She had reached a point where she thought death was the answer because nothing else made sense to her at the time. This is why we have to seek good counsel from godly people. People who seek the righteousness of the Most High and His only begotten Son, seek the kingdom like you do. Because they won't lead you astray into some foul counsel. They're going to give it to you right. I had to tell the sister, you're going to have to put on your big drawers now and be a big girl. You have to address and deal with the shit you know is plaguing you. You know what it is. You know exactly what it is that's plaguing you that you continuously try to cover up and push in the closet and close the door and say, I'll deal with it later. But it keeps opening the door and say, I'm still here. Sister, you gotta deal with that issue. You have to correct it so you will find peace and move forward. But you cannot find peace and you know what's plaguing you. You know you ain't addressed it, you ain't dealt with it, you keep trying to cover it up. Be real with your people. Don't pacify them with just a soft answer. Give it to them to what they need to hear so they can correct themselves properly. Be a good brethren. Be a good servant and steward of the word to your brother and sister so that they can get themselves together and enter into life. Care about the welfare of your brethren. It's bigger than us, y'all. It's bigger than us. Read that out, bro.
Verse 3.
Yes, sir.
Fear not the sentence of death. Remember them that have been before thee, and that come after. For this is the sentence of the Most High over all flesh.
You see that? Don't be fearful of death. Every man is appointed to it.
That's right.
When we come into this world, we begin to die.
Right.
The day we breathe our first breath, it's the day we start breathing our last. But if you're doing the will of the Most High and you're seeking His righteousness, fear of death shouldn't be a problem with you. Because you have something to look forward to after death.
To die is to gain.
It's a beautiful thing. Because you know you've got something to look forward to that's much greater, 150,000 times greater than what you're seeing with the naked eye right here. Mm-hmm. And it's forever, y'all, with no time, no clock, forever. Trust in the Most High with all your body, heart, and soul, y'all. He will bring you out of whatever state you're in, whether it be illness of the flesh, sickness of the emotions and spirit. He will deliver you from that. But you have to trust in Him first and foremost that He will do it. Mm-hmm. Finish that up, bro.
Verse 4.
Read that down. Yeah.
Down 16.
Yes, sir.
Verse 4. And why art thou against the pleasure of the Most High? There is no inquisition in the grave, whether thou have lived 10 or 100 or 1,000 years. The children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly.
Say, if you like filthy conversation, just, oh man, I gotta get in that conversation. Boy, they talking some wickedness. Boy, I love it.
Wait to jump in.
That's my kind of conversation.
Love it. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Verse 6. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach.
So just because you see someone living delicate, and they sinners and wicked, he said, don't worry about that. Don't be envious of that.
That's right.
Covered.
There's reproach behind that, what they got. Read on.
Verse 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High Yah. For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction.
So don't you be envious of some wicked cat that's got, or he's healthy. You might be sick as a dog. Type B flu, all kind of illness, lacking in financial gain and everything. And then there's this cat, wicked as hell. He got money, he's healthy, going to the gym. Seems as though he got it all.
You got a one-way ticket to the lake?
But you don't know what his end is. And he don't know what your end is. You will be exalted in his destruction. And he'll say, ain't that the nigga I was dogging out in life? And he going to the kingdom? Whoa. That's how it happens. Don't fret. Be content with what you have. The Most High has provided you raiment, health, and we'll see that later in the books of Sirach, I think that's 42. Read on, bro.
Verse 9. And if ye be born, ye shall be born to a curse. And if ye die, a curse shall be your portion. All that are of the earth shall turn to earth again. So the ungodly shall go from a curse to destruction. The mourning of men is about their bodies, but an ill name of sinners shall be blotted out.
You see that? An ill name of sinners will be blotted out. You even heard somebody bring up the name of some wicked and can't be like, man, don't bring that nigga up.
Right.
Man, don't even talk about that wicked. Man, read on, bro.
Verse 12. Have regard to thy name.
You hear that? Read on.
Have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold.
That's Proverbs chapter 7. Better is a good name than riches.
A good life hath but few days, but a good name endureth forever.
You hear that? Riches come and go. But when you're a good and righteous man, people love talking about you and about your, you know, how good you was to people and, you know, and miss you. Man, I miss the love of that brethren. You know, brother was a good dude, man. And that name travels forever. We still talking about our forefathers. They've been dead and gone thousands of years, but we still talk about them because they left a good name. Read on.
Verse 14. My children, keep discipline and peace, for wisdom that is hid and a treasure that is not seen, what profit is it in them both? A man that hideth his foolishness is better than a man that hideth his wisdom. Therefore, be shamefaced according to my word, for it is not good to retain all shamefacedness, neither is it altogether approved in everything.
So he says have discretion. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 38. After Isaiah chapter 38, we was gonna hit that John 11, the sickness of Lazarus. Then I wanted to hit that Sirach 38.
It's position. That's what we're talking about.
It's something I really wanted. Before we hit that Sirach 38, about the physician. I want to hit this Sirach 30 about not plaguing yourself with worry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Worrisome and stress will kill you.
That's right.
The Most High said, don't put all your heart on, don't stress yourself out until you kill yourself. It's not good. That's why in Ecclesiasticus, Solomon says, for a man to labor and not enjoy the fruits of his labor is in vanity. That's vain, man, that you work all day and everything and all you do is paying bills and you never enjoy nothing. He said, man, that ain't good. You got to enjoy your life. You got to enjoy the things that you set your heart on at some point, because that brings balance in your life. It brings peace. If you're always stressed in the work, and that's the other part of my sister who was ready to commit suicide. She works 12-hour days every day. She was beat down. I say, sister, you got to rest.
That's right.
You have to tell that heathen, I need off. Because if you dead, they're going to replace you anyway.
Instantly.
You have to find some rest. Otherwise, your body has reached a low point. Your immune system is low. You become sick. Then you getting ill counsel. So triple. Boy, that's a double up. Whammy. Yeah, she was ready to commit suicide. You put all that together, and ain't no telling what other personal issues she's got going on. We got to be careful. We are fragile people. The body is fragile. It heals itself, but it needs help, assistance.
Where you want to start in that Isaiah?
Isaiah 38, I just want to get where Hezekiah was about to die. He prayed to the Most High, and he was added 15 more years. He was on the sick deathbed. Isaiah 38? Yes, 1. Yeah, that's what it started at 1. Yeah, that's right. That's what I want. Hezekiah.
Isaiah.
Yeah, and then you go.
Could have been to verse 6 by now.
Yeah. Verse 5 talking about days getting added.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was.
1 through 6. 7. 7.
Okay.
7.
All right, family, we're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 38. I'm going to read verses 1 through 7.
And then we're going to get that Sirach 30 because we're short for time. And then you can put that Isaiah 38. If we get through it, you put because that's 15 through 25. By that time, it's time to go. I'll give you some homework. You get questions next week on your homework. Q&A.
A lot of homework.
Q&A, y'all. Be prepared.
Reading in the book of Isaiah, chapter 38 and verse 1. And it reads, in those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came unto him, and said unto him, thus saith the Most High, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live.
Now y'all see this? Hezekiah was sick to death. He was at the point of death. He was that sick, y'all. And we go in here because of many of us get real sick like this and may be to the point of death, but we have to see the example set before us on how they were delivered. There's a way out of whatever you're going through in your life. And if it's the Most High will, then so be it. But set your house in order. Set your heart in order that you are found acceptable, that death is not a problem for you if it comes. Read on, bro.
Verse 2. Then Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Most High.
So he faced the east, or wherever direction he was in. He faced Jerusalem. He faced where the temple was. And he gave it up, y'all. He like, hey, come on.
And said, remember now, O Yahweh, I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore.
You see what he presented? He said, I did what you commanded me. I walked with a perfect heart. See, he's already exemplified and exhibited those necessary requirements for a peaceful death and acceptation into the kingdom. However, he's still a fleshly man. I don't want to die yet. I ain't ready to die. Still may have some stuff to do. You know? Read on. Because see, it's not appointed to him while he's alive how righteous he is. Because see, even though he got breath, he can still turn. See, the testimonies of these righteous men aren't testimonies until after death.
Right.
After the death of the testator.
Got to be dead.
Hebrews chapter 12. Read on.
Verse 4. Then came the word of the Most High to Isaiah, saying, Go and say to Hezekiah, Thus saith the Most High, the Elohim of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will add unto thy days 15 years.
Whoa! You see that? See the mercy and the righteousness of the Most High?
Give you some time. Yes, sir.
I'll give you a little more time, Hezekiah. You're a good dude. Your heart is right. You good to go. If that's what you're asking, I got you. Read on.
Verse 6. And I will deliver thee in this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city. That's what you want.
And 7.
7. And this shall be a sign unto thee from the Most High, that the Most High will do this thing that he has spoken.
So he said, I would not forsake you, I would not leave you. If you rolling with me, I got you. Sirach 2 said, look in the generations of old. Can you find anybody that sought me in a righteous heart and was forsaken? No. Sirach chapter 30. Hit that real quick before we get out of here. We're on the time now.
You want the whole thing?
Let me see. No, not the whole thing. It was 15 through 25.
You said chapter 30 or 38?
30. Chapter 38 is about the physician. And put that in your arsenal, because if you are sick, like Uncle Levi tells us, at least go to the physician and find out what your problem is. So you know exactly what your ailment is, and you know how to deal with it and address it accordingly. Now, sometimes you may have to be admitted into that hospital or into that facility. You pray to the Most High that he will put in order to serve you a righteous physician who seeks his righteousness, that you may be brought out of your ailments, that a testimony may be brought forward, and praises and worship and honor be given and glory unto our Most High and his only begotten Son. That's what you do. You don't just cast him to the side. The Most High say he created him. He says the physician also prays to him that he has success and that his reputation is established amongst men. Because he makes his living off of saving. You see, when a physician is get caught up in bad medical practices, they lose their license, they lose everything, and then they go on a rampage and kill everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Go on a rampage.
Yeah, they do. Y'all know it. All right, Sirach chapter 30, y'all. Let's get this. Chapter 30.
15.
Start at 14. Sirach chapter 30. Sirach chapter 38 is dealing with the physicians. Put that in your arsenal and read it and study it. I'm going to ask you about it next Sabbath.
All right, Sirach chapter 30, verse 14.
Yes, sir.
Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body.
He says a poor man that has understanding of the word is better off than a rich man afflicted in his body, because he don't know how to seek help. He ain't gonna seek the Most High. Read on.
Verse 15. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth.
You see that?
There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart.
So a sound body is one that has the righteousness of the Most High and His only begotten Son, that's following the commandments, statutes, and judgments. That's a sound body, because the temple is right. Read on.
Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness.
You see that? Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. Read on.
Delicates pour upon a mouth shut up, or as messes of meat set upon a grave. What good doeth the offering unto an idol? For neither can it eat nor smell. So is he that is persecuted of the Lord. He seeth with his eyes and groaneth, as a eunuch that embraceth the virgin and sigheth.
So.
Keep going. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyness of a man prolongeth his days.
So he says, don't give yourself over to heaviness or wearisome or worrying and strife and what I'm looking for.
You don't dwell with it, that's why you can't remember.
Yeah, I guess so. It's depression. That's what I'm looking for. Depression. Don't give yourself over to depression. You know, we get so beside ourselves, and like I said, the sister, she was working long hours. Other things plaguing her, then bad counsel. And she had given her, she was like, I'm so depressed, I'm so depressed. She had given herself wholly over to depression. And it was consuming her. And she was ready to check out. Most High said, no, you got to find some joy. You got to have balance in your life. You got to find some peace and comfort and joy. You have to enjoy yourself. See, people think that we being in the Word and walking the life of the Most High, that we ain't supposed to enjoy. We supposed to live this rigid, robotic life.
Just peek out the window.
Just peek out. Ooh, I'm scared to go out there. They're seeing. No, that ain't how we supposed to live our life. Most High says you in the world, just not be of it. Don't enjoy the things that they enjoy. I have a joy set aside for you. We have holy days. We have fun days. We get together. We got brethren. We got friends. We got loved ones. We have everything that the world has. And then some. Abundance. Because ours is of the Spirit, which is much greater than that of the flesh. And true. And in the end is salvation. Eternal. Forever. Come on, y'all. Pick yourselves up. Let's stop being down about our daily lives. Yeah, it gets to us. We human. But we must get beyond the human flesh and start living in the Spirit. Read on, brother.
Verse 23.
Yes, sir.
Love thine own soul, and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein.
Y'all see that? Depression and sorrow have killed many. And there's no profit in it. Why end your life before the time? Finish that out, bro.
Verse 24.
Yes, sir.
Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time.
That means you too careful. You just, oh, I ain't gonna do that.
Right.
Oh, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna go there. Oh, you just so careful. You just living too careful. You just, haven't you seen somebody that drive too careful and they gonna cause an accident? Like, damn it, you gonna go right there. I was just trying to be safe. Nigga, you about to kill everybody trying to be safe. Get your ass out the way.
Watch that rap.
Watch the rap, boy. That's human nature, boy. You're like, oh my God. And then you pull up on the side, that's like, oh, that's grandma. Man, grandma, boy, I'm finna let you have it, boy. You just go on and drive on by like, boy, please, grandma, you gotta get off the road. You gonna kill somebody. And yourself. All right, hit that 24 and 25 again, bro. I'm gonna get this homework and we gonna get on out of here.
Verse 24 again. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
All right, all praises. How we doing out there?
They asking for that homework.
Okay. Are they asking for homework? All right. You asked for it, you getting it.
Yeah, that's Maggie. Maggie keep asking.
We gonna see. We gonna see. Don't be absent next Sabbath, son, when it's homework. Oh, that brother ain't even online. All right. Okay. All right, y'all. Homework. I wanted to hit that John 11, y'all. John 11 and 4 is dealing with Lazarus. You know, Lazarus was sick too. Then Lazarus gave up the ghost. And Christ came back and raised Lazarus from the dead, but Lazarus was considered Christ's friend. Why? Because he did the will of the Most High and his only begotten Son. So he exemplified and exhibited the righteous virtues of a believer. So therefore he was resurrected. Okay? But it shows you that, go ahead, brother.
I'm just saying that's why he was sad when he passed.
Yeah, it was his friend. He had love for him. But it shows you the emotion that the Most High even had for his fellow brethren that we should exhibit for each other. You know, we love each other, man, and when one departs, man, we should feel that. You know what I'm saying? We should feel that sorrow. But we can't let that sorrow plague us that we can't move forward. Right. We have a set bound time of mourning, and we have to move beyond that. Otherwise, it will consume us, just like we were just reading in Sirach 30, that sorrow can kill us. It can hurt us to death. So we have to let it go at some point. I want you to get Luke chapter 12. Always read the whole chapters, y'all. Meat of the matter is chapter 12, verse 5, but read the whole chapter. Matthew chapter 10 and 28. And this is about Most High saying, don't fear man, but fear the Most High, who can destroy both flesh and soul in everlasting hellfire. So don't fear no man and what he can do to you. Remember, Job didn't fear Satan. Revelation chapter 20. It's being beheaded for the word. Prepare yourself for death. Some of us may have to face a violent death. Be prepared for that. For in the end is a reward, a reward. Daniel chapter 7 and 25. 2 Timothy chapter 3, Tim talking about his sufferings and afflictions.
Said 2 Timothy chapter 2?
Yeah, chapter 3. 2 Timothy chapter 3. I'm going to just give y'all chapters so you read the whole chapters and you'll find the meat within that chapter. Because some of y'all going to go right to the meat and ain't going to read the chapter and ain't going to have a clue when it comes to Q&A.
come in here with a printed out text.
A cheat sheet. Hey, I want you to put these, Matthew chapter 18 and 20. When two are gathered together, he is also present in the midst. Ecclesiasticus 4 and 9, two together are better than one. And the reason why you're going here, Hebrews chapter 3, verse 12 through 13.
Hold on, what was Ecclesiastes?
Ecclesiastes 4 and 9. Hebrews chapter 3 and 12, 12 through 13. Exhort one another daily. Galatians chapter 6 and 1. These are scripts that talks about getting with your brethren who are like-minded, godly brethren, and that's who you counsel with. Because we are to build each other up. That's where you'll find your help at, because they're going to bring you scripts that's going to be helpful to edify your soul and your spirit in your time of need. All right? So put yourself in the midst of like-minded brethren, especially when you reach a low point. Matthew chapter 26, where Christ was feeling the infirmities of mankind, and he said, if it's possible, this cup pass from me, nevertheless your will be done. So you see, he was subject to like infirmities of mankind, however he was without sin. So I just wanted to put that in there as an example.
That was Matthew 26, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir. All right. Proverbs chapter 3. Be not afraid of sudden fear. Matthew chapter 10 and Mark chapter 13, you should be hated for Christ's sake. If they hated him, they should hate you. Endure to the end.
What's up, Mark?
Mark 13, Matthew chapter 10. Revelations 2. James chapter 4, resist the devil and he shall flee. Two Corinthians chapter 4. Y'all got that Sirach 38?
Sirach 38?
Yeah, that's about the physicians. The necessities of a man's life to be content with. You won't be content in your state of being. That's in Philippians chapter 4. So whatever state of being you're in, be content. As long as you got breath, the Most High can work with you. But to put in with that Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 39, verse 26 and 27, the Most High say these are the principal things for the use of a man's life. Water, fire, iron, salt, flour, wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the great oil and clothing. He said these are the things that he provides for you. These are your necessities. Clothes, covering, food. He said be able to be content with those things, because if you don't have wisdom and understanding, it don't matter. All that's going to be taken from you too.
What was that one you said earlier, second Ezra?
7, about the conditioning of man, what man's condition, the things he must go through and face, trials and tribulations. Proverbs chapter 24, don't faint in the day of affliction.
Say that was Proverbs 24.
Yep. I got several more, but I'm gonna hold out and we're gonna see. We're gonna see what. We're gonna see.
That's a lot.
Hey,
That's a whole nother. I'm still typing.
do you really want? Do you really want some homework?
I'm typing in.
All right, I'm gonna just that should be enough to suffice you for a week. We'll find out next Sabbath. Come next Sabbath, most high willing, if you can handle a little more. He said, dollar store, Walmart. Yeah. I gotta go get them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go in the stationery section. Yeah, we got enough that we can continue the class. I'm just going to give you enough to suffice y'all for a week. We see what happens next Sabbath. If we need to go further into some more matters, if anybody's having any issues that's plaguing them and we need to get on some more, then we shall do that. Any questions?
So far, so good, bro.
All right. Much love to the brethren.
Thank you to me for stopping me with the homework. All praise, bro. We do.
We can always we got enough to add to it. So the arsenal is full, y'all. So don't hesitate to reach out. If you have questions or anything, do not hesitate to reach out to the brethren. Somebody will get in contact with you if you're not in contact with each other. Somebody will get the answer or whatever to you, because that's how we roll, that's how we get down. We live to serve each other, that we be a testimony of good works and deeds to the Most High and His Holy Begotten Son. It's all about Him and it ain't about us. So with that, y'all, we're gonna close out, get a closing prayer on.
Okay.
We love you. Most High be with y'all and all of us. And do it to the end, y'all.
Y'all praise.
What's the closing song?
75.
Psalm 75.
75. Let everybody get in. Everything in order. All right, family, we're going to get this closing prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only beloved and begotten Son, our uncrowned King, our Lord and Savior, and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. We know him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms.
Come on.
In the 75th chapter, it reads, "Unto thee, O Yah, do we give thanks." Unto thee do we give thanks. For that thy name is near, thy wondrous works declare. When I shall receive the congregation, I will judge uprightly. The earth and all the inhabitants thereof are dissolved. I bear up the pillars of it. Selah. Selah. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But Yah is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. For in the hand of the Most High there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. But I will declare forever, I will sing praises to the Elohim of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. Hallelujah! Selah!
Got a shuffle or two.
Yes, sir.
Excellent class. Good class.
Praise.